The Retirement Cafe podcast, bringing joy to your retirement with Hannah Thomson. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Retirement Cafe podcast with me, your host, Justin King. If you're thinking about your retirement or already retired, you're in the right place. My aim is to help you plan for and live a successful and meaningful retirement. Retirement is far more than just a financial event. It's a significant life event, a major transition, which will bring with it new challenges and opportunities. So each episode contains tips, information, and inspiration to help you feel more informed and confident about your retirement. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hello and welcome. It's great to have you join me for this week's episode. This week, I'm delighted to be joined by Hannah Thomson, founder and the Chief Executive Officer of the Joy Club. Hannah has a really interesting story which she shares in our conversation today and which spurred her on to launch her own company just last year. Hannah witnessed her grandmother's deteriorating health and was struck by how little was being done to support her in later life. She feels strongly that everyone deserves a happy and healthy retirement, but money can often be a barrier to people staying active and healthy as they age. In our conversation, Hannah shares more about her inspiration for creating the Joy Club and how the membership program works and why she feels the Joy Club is part of a bigger solution that's needed to help the over 65s stay active to live healthier lives for longer. So, without further ado, here's my conversation with Hannah Thomson. Welcome to the Retirement Cafe podcast, Hannah Thomson.
Thank you very much, Justin. It's great to be here.
So, I've been really looking forward to chatting with you and finding out all about the Joy Club, which sounds, just the name, the Joy Club, sounds amazing. So, tell me about it. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, it's pretty joyful. So we launched in December 2020. Right. So we're fairly early on in our journey, only 4 months in, but we've already got over 2,000 members just absolutely loving the platform. And what we do for those members is that we provide a membership platform to enable them to have a joyful retirement.
Right.
And it's an idea that really came from the experience of my granny aging. She was always, my best friend and my greatest champion. And sadly, back in 2015, she got diagnosed with dementia, and then she got progressively more ill. And as she did, more products and services and support became available to her. And of course, we were so grateful for that as a family member at the time. But, on reflection, it did have the effect of prolonging the number of years that she lived in ill health versus prolonging the number of years that she lived in good health. Yeah. And it was really at that moment that I realized that, we need to be doing more as a society to support people early on in their retirement to stay happy and healthy and active for as long as possible.
So I'll be slightly controversial then. So why can't people do this on their own? What does the Joy Club bring that people aren't, I know plenty of joyful retirees.
Yeah, and retirement for some people is a really joyful time, and that's wonderful. But, the experience with my gran motivated me to speak to over 100 people in later life to understand their experiences of retirement. And some people were having a great time. Some people not so much. And for those people, there were really, 3 key issues that they were facing. The first one was just around having the budget to afford the kind of lifestyle they wanted in retirement. They had looked forward to this amazing retirement. And then actually when they got there, they realized that, unlimited time on a limited budget can be a recipe for boredom. So that was kind of issue number 1 that people were facing.
Yeah.
And then issue number 2 was around purpose. So, we take so much of our identities from our working lives. We get so much structure from our working lives, so much meaning and connection. And many of the people I spoke to had felt this sort of cliff edge when they'd retired, where suddenly that structure, that meaning, that purpose had disappeared for them. So that was another issue people were facing. And then the third issue was around loneliness. So again, through our working lives, we're seeing people every day, we're getting out the house every day. And for some people, loneliness is a real issue when they come to retirement. And so for the people who aren't having such a great time in retirement, facing those three challenges, the Joy Club does offer something very special. So the Joy Club is a membership platform for people who are retired or semi-retired. We deal with that kind of limited budget issue by providing amazing discounts with our wonderful partners. So people can, save more so they can do more with us. Then when it comes to purpose, we provide personalized activity recommendations, including volunteering opportunities. And that really supports that sense of, meaning and purpose day to day. And then when it comes to loneliness, when members join the Joy Club, they become part of our thriving community. So they can interact with other members in our daily interactive member events. So they could do Tai Chi if they wanted. They could come to the Joy Choir on Friday, which is really popular. And they can also message each other in our private Facebook group. So yeah, some people do have a joyful retirement already, and that is wonderful for them. But for the people who aren't having such a great time, the Joy Club is a great place to come to overcome some of those challenges they might be facing.
So you describe you mentioned the word platform. So tell me more about that, because that might be a kind of a term that people aren't familiar with. So just explain what is the Joy Club platform.
Yeah, sorry, that was a bit of techie lingo there. So yeah, platform is basically a membership website.
Right.
So if people come to the Joy Club at www.thejoyclub.com, they'll be able to sign up as a member. And once they've signed up, they can log into their membership area of the site. And there they'll be met with those personalized recommendations. They'll be able to enjoy those discounts from partners. They'll be able to book onto those interactive member events with us. So yeah, platform is just a techie word for a website with a membership area within it.
Sure. And how is it broken down? Is there because obviously people, we're all very different, and some people want to be very active in retirement, they want to do sports, and they want to do maybe walking, etc., and other people have got kind of hobbies that they might want to take up, or as you rightly say, volunteering, and that can be all types of experiences there. But obviously a lot of those things need other people to do them with. And to a certain extent need to be localized. They need to be within reach of where people are living. So how does it all work around those aspects?
Yeah, absolutely. So having launched in December in the UK, it was the depths of lockdown. And so everything we offered initially was online, at home, COVID safe. And so our series of events are online. So, you can join Tai Chi online, you can come to the Joy Choir online. But as soon as Boris Johnson announced his roadmap for restrictions easing, we put a survey out to our existing membership base, and over 200 of them told us exactly what they wanted to be doing out of home, and the brands that they were most excited about doing those activities with. So our partnerships team really treated that as a target list, a shopping list, and they've gone down and hunted some amazing partners to provide those out of home experiences. Partners like historic houses that have amazing sites across the UK, Bannatyne Spa, the Ramblers Volunteering Society. So all sorts of things. We really do try to create, an offering that there'll be something there for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah, fantastic. So, Hannah, I appreciate your personal story of watching your grandmother as later part of her retirement wasn't as fulfilling as you could have hoped. But I appreciate you observed that. But what's your background to bring how did you come up with it's one problem seeing the problem, but how did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, so I've pretty much always known that I wanted to found my own startup, so create my own company.
Wow.
But I've also always known that 9 out of 10 startup companies fail. So I spent the first 10 years of my career working in other people's startups, where I could, learn some important lessons and really understand some of the common challenges that early stage companies face, the opportunities that I should be keeping an eye on. So I've worked in different startups, different sizes. I've worked creating apps for junior doctors, for example, in the NHS. I've worked on technology for new mums. And during that time, I was really waiting for that, that light bulb moment where I'd found something that was sufficiently big and important and interesting and impactful to, quit the job and really go and create something myself. And that experience with my gran was that moment for me. It made me realize that, I'd gathered 10 years of experience in technology startup companies and increasing healthy life expectancy, supporting people to have a joyful retirement was the thing that I wanted to build a company around.
So Hannah, I don't think you're really quite in the demographic of the people that you're serving.
And just very good face cream.
Or maybe this is the plan, that you're so successful that you will be semi-retired before you know it, and you can. Yeah. But yeah. I understand that you have a steering group, and for those who don't know what a steering group is, well, maybe you can explain. Actually, tell me what the steering group is and who it's made up of, and why you have one.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I am not quite in our demographic yet. Our average member is 73 years of age, and I've just turned 30, so I'm a little way off. But like you say, Justin, if we're successful at the Joy Club, maybe I can retire and join the Joy Club by 40. But who knows? But yeah, I have always been aware that I am not that target customer, and I haven't wanted to make any assumptions around what customers might want from us. And so right from the beginning, I've made sure to involve that target demographic in everything that we've done, really. So right at the beginning, I decided that I wanted to do something to support people in early retirement, quit my job, and spent 6 months researching before I came up with really any kind of product or solution or brand, really just try to understand the needs of this group. And I spoke to over 100 people in later life to get that understanding. And then I stayed in touch with that group and they picked everything. So I came up with 3 business ideas. The Joy Club was one of those ideas, and I got the group to vote for which idea they thought was the best. So the Joy Club won, and I took that forward. But actually at that time, it wasn't called the Joy Club. And that group of people in later life helped me to pick the name. They helped me to design the platform. They've come up with the categories. They've decided, the partners that they wanted to be added to the platform for the team to hunt down. They've decided the activities. They really have decided everything. And we get those opinions in a couple of ways. The first thing that we do is that we regularly survey the whole membership base. So all 2,000 of our members have the opportunity to have a say in the direction that the Joy Club takes going forward. And then we also have our member steering group, and it's a group of amazing people. So shout out to Gillian and Mary and Keji and Keith and David, who we meet with at least on a monthly basis, and we'll have really in-depth conversations about, could be the new designs for the website, it could be new ideas we've got for the business. We don't make any decisions as a company without talking to that group, that member steering group first, because we know, we're a fairly young team, so we need to make sure that we're going to our members to have them steer us, hence the member steering group.
Yeah, very wise, very wise.
Yeah, they're an amazing group. We have a great time. It's honestly the best time of the month for all of us at the Joy Club. Most of the team want to join, and we're getting quite big now as a company, so I have to sort of limit who's on that call. But it's always great, and I can't wait until we can meet up in real life and have those member steering group meetings, and probably a couple of G&Ts afterwards, I would say. Brilliant.
And so how many members did you say you've got now?
Just over 2,000.
Wow. I mean, that's quite an amount of people since December 2020, in quite challenging conditions. So well done you. You mentioned a few of the partners that you're involved with, but How do you, I suppose, how do you kind of analyze who's a member and work out what things would interest them and what suggestions to make to them?
Yeah, absolutely. So when our members sign up with us, one of the first questions that we ask them is, which categories of interest excite them. And so they could go for, fitness activities, for example. That's a very popular category, as is arts and crafts, gardening and home improvements, leisure, like all sorts of categories that we have. So upfront, our members can tell us what they're interested in. And then once they're within their membership area of the website, the things that are presented to them will reflect those interests as well.
And you try and introduce them to newer things as well, things they may not have considered?
Yeah, exactly. We do. So we have two sections on the member homepage. One is, we think you might be interested in these, and then we'll present some activities that are aligned with their interests. And then we have another section that says, how about trying something new? And then we'll present to them activities that are, maybe outside of the things that they're usually interested in. But
can you give me some examples of things that things that maybe slightly not gardening or I don't know, but yeah, what are the kind of the slightly out of the box things that
we put on an event last week that was just so popular, and it was face yoga.
Right.
So the idea, I'm not going to do it now for you, Justin, but you basically do yoga with your face, and people love that.
Right.
Some really, and we also have, things like Zumba, things like ballroom dancing. Members as well have started to put on events, which is great. So we had one member, David, who had previously moved to Spain, and he was sharing that experience with other members to get them to maybe consider doing something similar, even if it was, not already on their radar. And we've got another member at the moment who is doing a series of events on kind of getting back out there after lockdown and working on inner strength and inner confidence. So that's really
amazing.
wonderful as well to have. It's not just us putting stuff on for members and our partners putting stuff on for members, but it's the members themselves trying to encourage each other to step out of their comfort zones and try some new things.
Yeah. And you mentioned, I think you mentioned something. Is it a weekly event that happens on a Friday? Was that right?
The Joy Choir happens on a Friday, yeah, but we put on member events every single weekday.
Oh, okay.
If you are a paid member of ours, so if you're paying £5 a month, you get unlimited access to these free member events, which happen every single weekday.
Wow. And at the moment, those are just virtual, but will you start to do kind of live events where people are meeting up?
Yeah, that's the hope. That's really the dream for us. We know it's really important for our members to have that online connection, but also offline as well. The big dream would be to have the Joy Festival, where all of our members can come together and have a really good time.
Amazing. Yeah, fantastic.
Watch this space. I need to, make some more money to put that on first, but
yeah.
That's the dream.
So, I mean, it's 2,000 members in this. I think it's a pretty impressive start. What's your vision?
Yeah, the vision really is to be, a brand that really speaks to people, in this demographic. Like what I've found from speaking to this amazing group of people is that they often feel invisible. One woman described to me aging as a fight against invisibility, which is a very beautiful way of putting it, but also a very scary prospect because, if we're lucky, all of us will age, all of us will become older. It's a fate that, if we're lucky enough, will come to us all. So it's such a shame that they feel overlooked as a consumer group. Also, you do have brands for older people, but they tend to be very beige and boring. And what I have found spending time with these people is that they are anything but, they are hilarious, and they speak their minds. And I want to create a brand and a membership site that really reflects, the energy of the group. So I think that's the big vision, is to be the brand that speaks to and hears this group and really supports them in all of their needs going forward. And, we're always listening to our members and what they want from us next. So, we will go in the direction that our members take us.
Sure. And obviously, Hannah, as with your personal experience with your gran, that there's a period of vitality and energy and enthusiasm for life, and then of course there is inevitably the period of time where we're not so well and we decline. How does the Joy Club fit into that part of where do you see yourselves fitting into that element of someone's life?
Yeah, I think for us, it's really about supporting people to stay in that active phase for as long as possible. We look at age-related illness like dementia, cardiovascular disease, hypertension, and all of those diseases and issues can be, the risk of getting those can be offset by being active and healthy and happy and socially connected. So really, we see at the Joy Club the opportunity to support people early on in retirement to stay active and joyful and connected, to extend that healthy and really active part of their lives, to delay the onset of that sort of latter phase of life.
Yeah. And do you have to be retired to join?
Well, we do say retired or semi-retired,
right.
Mostly because, we're putting on those events during the working week, and our members are really sort of bound together by this, being in this new phase of their lives. Like, it's such a huge identity shift for them, going from, the person that they were in their working lives to suddenly having this time on their hands, the opportunity to find new inspiration and new interests and new people to enjoy those activities with. So we do tend to say, retired or semi-retired, because it really, for our members, that's the phase they're in, and they're really seeking other people who are at a similar life phase and who have the time to enjoy the activities we put on during the working week.
Sure. Well, it sounds a fantastic initiative, and I wish you all the success. Where can people find out more about what you're doing and get an experience of what it's all about?
Yeah, so it's as easy as coming to www.thejoyclub.com, and there in at the moment in the right hand corner they'll be able to see a sign up button, and that will mean that they can sign up for a 1 month free trial. No obligation. You don't have to put your card details in first, nothing like that. So you can sign up, and for 1 month, you'll have access to everything that the Joy Club has to offer. You'll have access to those amazing partner discounts, to our really exciting and inspiring content, and also those, free daily member events. So you'll get the opportunity to speak to other members, try new things, try a bit of Tai Chi, try some creative writing, join the Joy Choir, see what you like. And if you would like to stay, as a member, as a premium member thereafter, with that unlimited access to our community events, it's just £5 a month thereafter, and you can cancel any time if you change your mind at any point.
Well, that sounds like an amazing, opportunity for people. I don't see why anyone wouldn't, give it a try and register and sign up for a month and see if it's for them. I think we'll definitely let the Retirement Cafe podcast guests hopefully will sign up and try and experience all this great stuff that you're doing.
I hope so. Who doesn't like a bit of joy in their lives? So I do hope that your listeners will, come to www.thejoyclub.com and give it a go.
Fantastic. Well, really, really enjoy chatting to you this afternoon, Hannah. And I wish you all the success with it. I really do. I think it's a great initiative, and well done, within lockdown to get 2,000 members already. So you're obviously doing something right. All power to you. Really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Justin. I figure if we've managed to build a company during a global pandemic, the only way is up going forward, hopefully. So thank you so much for wishing us luck. And I really hope that your listeners will be joining us at the Joy Club soon.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you once again to Hannah Thomson for sharing her story with us. To find out more about the Joy Club, check out the show notes on our website at theretirementcafe.co.uk, where you'll find some useful links. As ever, if you've enjoyed this episode, please do leave a review on Apple Podcasts, as this really does help more people like you to find us. I know some of our listeners prefer to watch my conversations, so you'll find a video version of every episode on my YouTube channel, Justin King MFP. You'll find a link in the show notes on our website. If you watch on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell symbol to receive notifications every time we upload a new video. Next time, I will be joined by personal finance guru Pete Matthew to talk about his very successful podcast, Meaningful Money. We also chat about all things related to money and retirement. So be sure to subscribe either on our website or your preferred podcast player to catch my conversation with Pete. So until next time, this is Justin King helping you feel more informed in your retirement.